Well, sorry about that. I have no idea. My OBS Studio decided just to stop running. So hopefully it got all of that out of its system and we'll be able to get this rolling again here. Give it a little bit of time for people to pop back in if we can get you back in here. So anyways, if you're just now picking up on this stream, I was having some issues where it was not streaming properly, and I literally got kicked out. So I'm back. There's only a couple of minutes into the stream, anyways. Oof. This is one of those games that I never fully got a grasp on how to play. I do remember playing up to Dural and actually being able to beat it, but it's one of those games that I have not played in a very long time, so I'm not great at it. Whoa. So it looks like I've got one viewer back. Who's that that's back in the chat there? Are you seriously? I love it when that happens. I remember this one time that I had deja vu. It was near Christmas time, when I was working for Rent-A-Center many years ago. It was so weird. It's like, and it kept going on. It wasn't just like one of those quick moments of deja vu. Even after I realized that it was deja vu, it felt like it was going on for almost an eternity. I mean, eventually, obviously, it did stop, but man, it was interesting to see, or to experience. Excuse me. Oh, come on, man! Got beat by a drunk dude. Yeah, definitely. I used to love the Virtua Fighter series, but I don't know. It's one of those games, like I said, like Tekken. I love the earlier Tekken games, but once it started getting into the Tekken 3 era, I kind of got sick of it. Oh, come on! Stop on this time. Get out of the ring! Oh, man. Yeah, she's probably going to put me down. Oh, dude, I didn't even get one hit pulled off on her. That's insane. Dang. That's a little bit better. Now, I do remember one of the, I can't remember if it was Virtua Fighter Remix or Virtua Fighter, they had issues with the floor, with the emulation, and I haven't tried that. Oh, crud. I haven't gone back to that game and retried it since they've done some updates. So I might have to pop into that one as well and take a look. But I can't let Pi win like that, or maybe I can. Dang, she is a beat my butt. Oh, crap. For a second there, I thought I was Law, and I was trying to play like him. Oh yeah, let me go back to the deinterlacing here. I had trouble finding it, so let's see if we can find it here again. Press and hold start to reset defaults. I guess it reset all the defaults, so let's see. Save and exit is B, A is next, zoom. So I've got that. Let me extend that out. Might as well, since I didn't even know that was an option before today. Fill that screen up. Next. Position, contrast, brightness. That doesn't seem to be doing anything. Oh, wait, it is. Which actually may be a good thing, considering I cannot adjust these settings on my TV. I think I talked to you about that last week. Let me put my contrast back. Get that brightness up there a little more. Aspect ratio, virtual display. Oh my gosh, what happened there? Huh. That just goes white. Yeah, actually, yeah, it's new to me. That is good. And it'll be good for some of the old Super Nintendo games. Oh man, I may actually have to try that out now too. Setting. Oh, you know what? It's under video settings, isn't it? Screen adjust resolution, temporal blur. Oh, it is turned on. So yeah. Come on, dude. Yeah, dude. Ah, just can't fight her. She just keeps ducking under everything. Well, the stream seems to be a lot more solid now, too. Maybe it got it out of its system. Oh, yeah. Oh, I'm glad she stayed on the ground long enough to do that. Oh, dude. No, get up, get up. Kick her, kick her, kick her. Good. So I do like that stretch. Now, I wonder if it's going to stay that way, like if I exit out of the game and come back into it, or if that's something I have to do every time. Oh, that was interesting. I loved how he just fell on his head. Oh, dang. Oh, come on, man. He always stays crouched, too. Man, see? Every time. All right, I'm going to exit out, and I'm going to pop back into this game real quick just to see if it'll keep those settings or not. I bet if I did a state save, it probably would, but I don't think this is going to hold it. You know, that's oh wow, it did save. Check that out. All right, now I wonder if it saved it for all Saturn games. I'm gonna actually pop over to Super Nintendo just real quick, like. Where is it here? Oh, I'm blind. So I'm wondering if it holds it here as well. I'm gonna pop into a game and adjust some of those settings. I'm gonna go into the options. Let's see, light, medium, hard. Ooh, light, medium, hard. That's what I'm about to find out. No, it didn't. It didn't hold on to. Obviously, you see the bars at the top and bottom of the screen. Those should have been stretched a little bit more. But as I get into the game, now this is where it's going to be interesting here. Let's go into the virtual display, and oh, wait a minute. All right, so let's stick there. We're gonna zoom in. Nope, we're zooming the wrong way. Unfortunately, that does zoom pretty slow. I wonder what the max zoom possibility is. Dude, that's pretty awesome. All right, hold on. Let me adjust this now. Oh, wow. Oh, no, I forgot to save it. No! Dang it. All right. Let's try that again here. Yeah, well, see, and that's what I'm wondering about too. We'll see what happens. Let's see. Next. I'm gonna give it a little bit more zoom. You know what? I'm just gonna keep going. We're gonna see what happens here. All right. Bring this back down a smidgen. Okay, now B. Dude. So far, I don't notice anything. Oh, man. Almost got the arcade-sized sprites now. Actually, I bet that is right about. If you play a different Saturn or SNES, do they use that? Well, we'll find out. I'll go to Mortal Kombat after this and see what happens. My guess is it'll save. Oh, crud. All right, well that's all right. I'll exit the game. It'll probably save for the specific game. Now, of course, Mortal Kombat, they did something pretty good with the programming on that game anyways. For the Super Nintendo, they didn't have to utilize the black bars. They kind of moved where the character... Oh, wait a minute. It looks like it is. because that looked different from what I'm used to. Yep, it's definitely, it saves it for the whole console. Now for Mortal Kombat, I don't know. I don't think this quite looks right, but we're gonna go for it anyways. Oh, crud, I forgot I'm using a wrong controller, so I don't know what my buttons are. Okay, that's a block. That's a kick. Oh, this is gonna be hard. That's a punch, so this is also a punch. That's right, I'm not playing to play, I'm just testing this out anyways. Oh, crud, wrong punch button. I don't know. It does kind of look interesting, even though it looks pretty choppy. Because I've been doing a lot of Mortal Kombat lately. Arcade Mortal Kombat though, as I've been testing out the arcade cabinet that I'm working on. So obviously it does look really odd to me. Oh crud! Which is my okay? That's the right button. Good. I do like this though. That is true, Marox. Let's see here. CMBA Jam. That was another one that I always thought that the character sprites were too small on. Yeah, I might end up having to change the title for this stream later on and just call it Polymega video testing. I don't know, because that's kind of what this is turning into. No, I don't feel like doing any of that. Doubles. Let's see. Oh, wow. So this one you only had a choice of 2 characters rather than being able to swap out some different team members. I don't remember that. Oh my gosh, yeah, that definitely doesn't work for this game. I don't even know what buttons are. Okay, that one's obviously shoot. Hey, 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 rude. Where's my turbo? Okay, that's the... Oh, wow. No, I thought that was pass. Get it? Full court. Yeah, buddy. But I cannot play this game with a Saturn controller. Unless it's the Saturn version, of course. So let me get out of that. Oh, here we go. Now this might be interesting. I'm gonna have to go in and do some changing on the controls, of course. Medium, fear, sweep. There we go. I may have to adjust the settings a little bit. We'll see once I get into the game, I guess. Oh, see, I can't see their health bars, unfortunately. That sucks. See, I can't tell when I need to start doing a ultra combo or anything like that. Nope. All right, so let's get out of that. So for some games, you know, like Primal Rage, I bet, especially Primal Rage or Samurai Showdown. I think those would be both good to kind of play around with those settings a little bit. Street Fighter, obviously, I love the way Street Fighter looked in that style. But let's pop back over to Saturn here. Where's my? There it is. Okay, so keeping on both themes, the how do the transparencies look on the Saturn when using the different filters? Um, you know, I guess that would depend on. Let's see here. What game uses some of those transparencies? I want to say Street Fighter Alpha use it. I'm gonna go into that one. Don't worry about the spelling errors. I mean, I completely understand that. Okay, so now this one doesn't look like it kept the settings because I can still see. Maybe that's just because it was a video. Let me get into the game. We'll find out here. As far as being able to make them look like transparencies, oh, Shinobi Legions. Oh, gosh, I love that game. All right, so this one does need some settings. Let me go into the virtual display again. Oh, man, that looks bad. What's going on there? I guess just because of... That is weird. I don't like that. Let's see, A next, zoom. Let's zoom. All right. Yeah, I'll probably do some Shinobi, because I do like that game a lot. Oh, true. You're right. Okay, there's one right there. So let's pause. If we take a look at that transparency there behind Ken's head, obviously it's using. Oh man, those pixels look really bad now too. But anyways, let's see what the virtual display. Nah, it still doesn't quite make it look right. I'm gonna give this a go though. Let's see what it looks like. I don't like how dark it looks though. You know what? That might be some of those settings too. Let's go. There we go. All right, give that a shot. You know, it doesn't. I'm sitting here trying to do combos for full gore. That's stupid. It doesn't look bad. I don't know how it looks through your guys' screen because I know some of these filters and things don't look very good when you do that on YouTube. It doesn't look horrible, but there's this pattern that my eyes are seeing that I don't feel should be there. I don't know. It's kind of hard to explain. I've been using scanlines on Raspberry Pi lately, and that actually I've been enjoying quite a bit. This is not as good as the Raspberry Pi's filters. Man, what are you doing to me? Street Fighter looks old. Well, guess what? It is. Oh man, I remember when this game came out at the arcade. Yeah, yeah, and that's really where I'm at. I don't really use any of the filters, mainly because of that. It just doesn't look right. A scan line probably would look better. I'm not even sure what to call this. It's trying to make it look like a virtual CRT or something like that. Oh well, here this no, that's more of a CRT setting. But then if I adjust like the contrast and things like that, all it does is it looks washed out. Let's do this. Let's kick it back a notch. There. See, that just looks so much better. I didn't save it. Oh, of course I didn't. Sorry, this takes a few seconds. There we go. Yeah, I see, and I'm in the school of thought when it comes to pixel perfect. I much rather see a nice, perfect shaped pixel without the extra scan lines and things like that. It just looks so much better, if you ask me. Yeah, it is. It's a weird mesh pattern. You know, that's probably true too. Yeah, scan lines just they don't work great. Like I said, on my Raspberry Pi 4, it's probably the first time that I've actually liked the way scan lines looked, and it made it so it didn't look invasive. I mean, it wasn't harsh. Yeah, that's good enough there. Let's see. Let's load it up. Come on. Wait, there we go. I thought this was a brilliant idea. I mean, you know, what's the next best thing to being able to play FMV games, but to be able to play games with characters that look real, you know, like Mortal Kombat, but doing so in an iconic game like this in Shinobi. I love it. Me? No? Whoa, I thought I'd killed him. Alright, let's see. Do you prefer PAL or NTSC soundtrack for this game? You know, I've never actually played the PAL version of this game. I have heard that there is a difference, so I really can't comment on that. I know for when it came to Sonic CD, I preferred the NTSC or the US release much better than the Japanese or the European one. I'm gonna have to pull up some videos on that or something and take a look and see what the difference is. Oh, he got hit. Oh no, he didn't. Oh, sorry. I'm also looking for some transparencies. Can't remember if I put Castlevania on here or not. That would be a perfect one for transparencies because they're all over the place in that game. After I started getting back into the Sega Saturn stuff, this was actually one of the first games that I purchased. I think this was a game that back in the day I originally rented. But I've already said that I thought it was a great idea, which it really was. Did they say they were going to drop the news already? Forward to the news on the 5th. Okay, I read that wrong. Yeah. That's I'm sure they probably won't be saying anything about that until November, or even maybe December. Um, Waiting till they get a bunch of the Polymegas out the door before they try to drum up any new business, because once people start seeing that they're shipping it, maybe they'll be more out to actually buying the console again. I'm assuming that their sales have probably slowed down quite a bit with all of what's been going on, with the consoles not actually even getting out the door. But once people start getting the consoles in hand and people, kind of getting giddy for it and be like, dude, that is really cool. The more people that start streaming using it and kind of showing it off, that's gonna be good for business if you ask me. But yeah, they probably won't even make that announcement until November. My best guess actually is going to be December, before they start even talking about some of that stuff. So I'm not seeing anything in that one right now. Let me go under my Japanese games here real quick. I thought I had Castlevania on here. Maybe I took it off because I didn't like the way it looked and I already had the PlayStation 1 on here. It's probably what it was. Yep, Die Hard, I don't have that one. Lupin the Third. I didn't even know there was a Lupin the Third on Saturn. I'm hoping Master System without a module. I'm hoping that they just integrate it into the Genesis, and then you can buy a converter to get those games working, kind of like what they did with the Famicom. That way, they don't have to. Oh, then again, there's those 8 card games that we'd be missing out. Of course, there's really no missing out on those card games, but it might be kind of nice to be able to use those. But yeah, really, I'd rather see a new module for a completely different console that couldn't handle, again, like Game Boy Advance, Game Boy family in general. That would be nice. Really, man, I am gonna have to look that up. There was a Lupin game. I can't remember what it was called though. Back in the arcades, it was like a Dragon's Lair type game. I can't remember what it was called. I have it actually on my arcade cabinet. Oh, a stall. Should I? Well, let me hold off on that. A 3D platformer. Oh, all right. 3D platformer. Since you mentioned it, let's go to Bug. Dude, I sold all my Jaguar games. I would actually be upset if that happened. Because I don't have any Jaguar games. And I don't want to have to buy those again. I probably would buy some of those Jaguar games again, though. Cliffhanger. Thank you. That was it. Yes. And 3D platforming at its finest here on the Saturn. Hey, get back here, Bug. Bug juice. Oh, well. Do I really need those? I can't remember if you have to collect those or if it's just one of those things that's there for completionists. You know, this game... Oh, hi there. I actually do like this game. It's not obviously one of my favorite games to play, but every once in a while to be able to go back and take a look at it again, it is fun. Bug 2 I never really got into. I do not like that I have to jump for all these. I wish they would just be on the same plane as me so I wouldn't have to jump as much. Now, if there was other obstacles in the way, you know, that sort of thing, I guess it would be fine. But in that area right there, it was kind of dumb for them to have them all in the air. But, again, they wanted a platformer, so... Better than Bubsy 3D. Got that right. Bubsy wasn't a very good game to begin with. But yeah, I'll have to check out those Lupin games. I can get up that way. Maybe not. Oh, I thought I could make it. Oh, man. Is this the beginning? It is. Was there not a halfway point? Well, I guess gives me an option to... Oh, hey, get up there. To get these little guys. So I guess the nice thing is that I don't have to collect all those jewels again. Come here. I want some bug juice, you guys. Is that above me, or is that on the next layer up there? That's probably the next layer. Really? Oh, I looked away from the screen trying to read that comment. It is. It's definitely it's something different. It's obviously I don't know if I would even consider this a 3D platformer. But then again, they were testing the waters. Nobody really knew how to do a 3D platformer back then. Obviously, Nintendo was kind of the ones who did it best, starting off anyways. Konami probably was one of the worst. Man, playing some Castlevania 3D or whatever it was called on the N64, man, that game was complete garbage. I apologize ahead of time. I already feel a sneeze coming on here. Wait, I can't go that way. There's nothing over there anymore. Oh, sorry. Oh, no. That was a bad time to have to sneeze, too. Now, as far as platformers go, this is actually one of the platformers that I enjoy. I'm not going to play this one for very long, but Clockwork Knight I thought was a pretty neat game, and I have played this one on stream before. Oh, thank you, Matthew. I played this one on stream before, kind of comparing it to Donkey Kong Country, so I guess right now is a good time to probably bring it back out again since I just went through Donkey Kong Country. It was kind of Sega trying to show off what they can do, but it still does not feel as good and does not look as good as Donkey Kong Country. What was that? Toy Story. That's another one. Whoops. Oh, whatever, dude. Jumping Flash, is that Jumping Jack Flash, the one where you're this guy, like, well, jumping around in a 3D world? I do remember playing that one on the PlayStation. I rented that one. It was not one that I owned. It was weird. It was a really odd game. That didn't work. Oh, I thought you could jump on enemies. Man, it's been a while since I played this one. You know, this one might actually be a kind of neat one to revisit now that systems can do this sort of thing so much better. Because I mean that sprite work, especially the static animation of him, whatever it is that he's doing, dancing or hopping, I don't know what you would call that, a jig. It looks so bad. Because of how pixelated it is, but how neat that would look in today's day and age of gaming. Those pogs? I think they are supposed to be pogs, or milk caps. Okay, yep, same game then. I didn't know he was supposed to be a bunny. I do remember him having, like, ear-like things, but... Whoa, I'm running. Didn't want to run. Aw. Well, honestly, I like some of the weird games. Sometimes there was one that I liked. It was Tetris on the N64. Ooh, N64 module. Oh, that would be so nice. Okay, well, that's enough of that anyways. Double Switch, again, one of those FMV games. I just have a very fond memory of playing that back on the Sega CD32X days. Gex, I wasn't really a big fan of that one. Independence Day, I don't know if any of you have ever played that. I bought this one for a couple of bucks. It's such a horrible game. Sega Rally, that's the one that you had mentioned. Dang. All right, let me pop into that.
Sega Rally Championship.
Oh, I hit the wrong button. So this one looks like it could be another one of the... Oh, nope, there it goes. Never mind. Well, no, it could. I'm not going to deal with it right now, but you could stretch that screen out a little bit.
One, go. Easy right. Easy left. Easy right. Over jump.
I used to love racing games. I'm definitely not into them as much as I used to be. But back in the N64 era, oh, well, you know what? There's some. I didn't even see them on the screen. They've been there the whole time. I'm just not into them as much as I used to be. Whoa! Oh, see, I couldn't go over them either. There's like an invisible wall. That's interesting. All right, let me pause it right there. Actually. No. I'm going to go ahead and do this since it's there. Yeah, I don't think there's going to be anything that I'll be able to do to try to make that look better. Now that one seems to soften it up a little bit, but it still puts some kind of pattern overlay. I still don't like that. Yeah, no, I've seen people that are just insanely good at games like this. I'm not. I was much better at the one on the Xbox, but I'm going to run into that wall. No, I'm not. I do like its stretch, though.
Finish.
It does make it look a little bit better. Always have no trouble on that first stage, but once I actually have to start racing against people...
3, 2, 1, go! Very long, easy right.
Ridge Racer, now that's more of my style of racing game. Again, not the first Ridge Racer. That game was actually pretty bad for controlling and whatnot. But once they started getting into the Xbox 360, the PS3, PSP, even the Nintendo DS, not the Ridge Racer 64, but I guess they call it Ridge Racer DS. Oh, 3DS, that's what it was. It was the one on the 3DS that I really enjoyed. The one on the Vita was pretty good too, but I hated how they kind of gave you an a la carte game where if you wanted extra functions, extra stages, extra cars, you actually had to purchase them with real money. I'd rather just buy a full-fledged game and have to unlock the stuff than to pay real money. So I was a little bit upset about that, but both of the games, Ridge Racer 1 and 2 on the PSP, man, I put a bunch of hours into those games. Dude, look at that. I couldn't even get past the first stage. That's pretty bad. That was real bad. I know. Ridge Racer, I mean, they used to be like pumping those up. Like when there was a new console, hey, let's throw a Ridge Racer on there and show what we can do with this new hardware. And there was a Ridge Racer game that came out after 2009. I think it was probably around 2010, 2011. I can't even remember what it was called. I never actually even played it because it didn't even look like Ridge Racer anymore. Ooh. Just because I can, we're going to go here. I love some of the classic Sega arcade games. And on top of that, one of my favorites right here. I have this one for several different systems, of course. The 3DS version is, I think, my favorite version.
Welcome to the family. Get ready.
Now, my Super Nintendo controller would probably be great for this one with that auto fire. Oh, Shenmue. That's another game that had this on there. I absolutely love going to the arcade just to play this game in Shenmue. Shenmue was so much of a waste of time kind of game, yet there was so much you could do still to kind of get the storyline and that sort of thing. It was such a interesting game. I don't know how to put it. I'm sure some of you guys have probably played it. I still have not played the third game in the series. I had purchased Shenmue 1 and 2, the collection that they were selling. What was it for? Xbox One or PlayStation 4, I don't remember. And I never even played through the entire first game on that. Kind of disappointed in that, but I never got around to actually playing the third game in the series. From what I understand, it's pretty much one and the same of what the other games were like, but I don't know. Yeah, I wish I had that rapid fire right now. But I don't want to switch right now either because I'm going to play some other Saturn games, which I'm assuming are going to need the Saturn controller.
You're doing great.
You know, I would have to put this game pretty much side by side the arcade game to even spot any of the differences. Because right now, as I'm looking at it, I've not seen any difference. Now, I haven't played the arcade game, probably in about 9 years. We had a classic game store that I used to go to, which had a copy of this game in their little arcade that they had. It was nice to be able to kind of play that. I never have played the bigger, the bigger arcade cabinet of this. It was always just the stand-up unit. And the boss music, I love the boss music in this game, how it changes depending on what boss that you're playing against. It's one of the things that I kind of remember about the Sega Master System version of this game is I used to go into the sound test mode. So this would have been the 3D version of the game. I would go in there, I'd do the sound test mode, and I would then turn the 3D effects off and play the game, because I'd rather play the game not in 3D, which is kind of weird, but that's just the way it was. But anyways, yeah, I remember going in there and listening to the music. There was one called Winnie Jumbo, something like that, that I love to listen to. I should probably try to get my hands on the 3D version of that game again. Of course, I don't have the 3D glasses. My brother has them, but I don't have them.
Get ready.
Really, sounds are different? Interesting. I guess I never really noticed that. Again, I'd have to probably place it side by side in order to tell the difference. Shaders? Well, that I can completely understand, of course. Oh, crap. Saw that coming.
Get ready.
Sorry if any of you guys hear Siri talking in the background. Yeah, that's my text message notification. Did I say Siri? I did. Navi. Come on, die. Thank you. Yeah, you can't shoot me. Now, if you, for the most part, just keep moving around, you can, like, avoid getting hit by bullets all the time. But then you have issues like this here, where you get bombarded from all angles. Oh, crap. Dead.
Get ready.
Oh, you did hear Navi. Okay. Sorry, I just looked down on the screen. Yeah, see, an Outrun was not a game that I was really into. I thought it was cool in the arcades, but I like playing like Afterburner in the arcades. It was that game, Space Harrier, Thunderblade. Obviously, Thunderblade's not quite in the same category as the rest of those with the super scalers. It was a super scaler, it was an older one, I suppose. Oh yeah, like the bushes, kind of running over and tripping on the bushes. Yeah, I love that. I used to do that on the Master System like all the time. As before the enemies come flying at you, I'd just be running along the ground and whoop, there we go. Oh yeah, I did say I wanted to go into Virtua Fighter. There were some issues with the ground, but it looks like I erased the regular Virtua Fighter from the system. So we'll see if Remix has the issue or not. Oh my gosh, yeah. That same thing with Thunderblade. Thunderblade, if you could actually get into the cockpit, I absolutely love that, being able to just move that thing around. What was that, G-Lock? Was it called G-Lock? I don't remember. There was a one that you could like flip you all around the place. I love that one. Yeah, it looks like, see how the floor is jumping? That was the problem that they were having. Of course, I haven't played this one on my actual Saturn in a long time, so I don't think that's normal. No, that's definitely not normal. That thing is jumping like crazy. Look at that. I wish it would actually affect the characters, though, making the characters like flop around or something. That would be awesome. Oh man, that was great. Okay, so yes, that's still something they're needing to address, I guess. G-Lock, okay, yeah, and I know they had released what was it, G-Lock Air Battles for the Genesis, but it was nowhere near like that arcade game. Just trying to go through some of these and see if I can find. You know what? I haven't played Darkstalkers in forever. I'm gonna go ahead and pull that one up. I probably will suck at it, but I used to have this on the PSP. I remember that was one of the early games that were released on the console. Let's see. Oh, no, it's not Lord Raptor. Nuts. Oh, well, I guess we'll go with him. I love Tetris Plus. I'm going to put that one on for a little bit. Um, Tetris Plus, back when I was in high school and dating who is now my wife, we used to actually like go over to my house at lunchtime just to play Tetris Plus. This character design is just so cool. But as you can see, the Saturn does not hold its virtual display like it did with the Super Nintendo. I find that interesting. Hey, Killer X. How you doing? Oh wow, is the manual is that big? That's insane. They tried fitting everything in there, I guess. Now, I always thought this character was kind of cool. I can't even remember his name. I remember very little. Bishamon. I like his kind of samurai spirit mouth thingy. I don't know what you would even call it. It's pretty crazy though. That's insane. Using his ribs to crack that guy open. Oh, dang, that was a nice combo. Yeah, and if I remember correctly, this series came out just after the Street Fighter Alpha series. And I remember the first time that I saw it, I thought it was such an awesome idea. It didn't quite live as long of a life as Street Fighter did. Some of the characters obviously lived on. I mean, what's her name? Felicia, Morgan. I think some of those characters have been kind of more in the pop culture over the majority of most of these characters, anyways. No, Ratchet. To answer your question, no, I don't think it's worth the asking price that it's going for these days. But the same thing could be said for a lot of games, like Sega Master System, for instance. There's a game on there. Let me see. Is it? I want to say it's Buster Douglas Boxing. It's one of the boxing games, either that or else Rocky. I can't. It's Buster Douglas. I'm pretty sure that one goes for several $1,000s, and it's such a crap game. Um, so yeah, it's nowhere near as bad as that one, of course. Um, but it's an okay game. It's not really all that fun. I'm an RPG kind of person, and it's a neat idea. It just I don't think was executed very well. Dang. She is beating my pants off. Ah. Oh, I forgot about supers and things. I don't even remember how to do his. Yeah, they really are. I think I mentioned this too, but I've started getting rid of some of my games that I don't play anymore, that have just been kind of sitting around and collecting dust, and making me some pretty good money because of it. I don't want to get to a point where I don't want those games anymore, and then the bubble kind of bursts where games aren't going to be selling for as much as they are right now. But I think it's probably going to end with those Neo Geo games. I don't think I'll probably end up getting rid of any of my TurboGrafx stuff, which has some pretty good value to many of them as well. So you believe it to be one of the top three JRPGs of all time, and you still say no? Wow, that's interesting. Um, just kind of as shelf candy sitting there. I love this guy. He's cute. Oh, come on, dude. That look on his face. He got stunned right there. Well, and again, not even so much bootlegging, but just downloading and playing copies of the game. Um, I mean, obviously the companies aren't making money off of them anymore. I mean, some of them they still are, but games. Oh, come on. Oh crap. Games like Panzer Dragoon 3, yeah, I don't think that game's ever going to be released anywhere. If they do remake Panzer Dragoon 3, I'm not going to lie, I would buy it. Oh, come on, really? Really? Oh. Excuse me. Oh, wrong button. Alright, well that... Oh, nope. Ah, see, I thought I was going to pull it off there. Alright, so let me exit this game. I'm already being beckoned here, so we're gonna do one more though, just because Tetris Plus. If you played the regular Tetris Plus game or like versus, you know, that kind of thing, it's not great. But if you play, well, when it comes to Dragon's Lair, I'm a Dragon's Lair nut. So I don't know how many times I've bought that game over and over on different consoles and still own. Actually, I've got an old PC version of Dragon's Lair still that I purchased when I was really little. Um, Gosh, I don't even remember what version of Windows that was for, to be honest. But of course, the only way I can get rid of that game probably is to throw it away. I mean, it's that old. And nobody probably even cares about stuff like that. Well, I could be wrong. A lot of people collect old PC games. But what we're gonna do, classic mode, that one is not great. I'm not a big fan of that. It's puzzle mode where the fun really comes in. I actually own this also for, I want to say it's Game Boy Color. It might be Game Boy, but I'm pretty sure it's Game Boy Color. Or is it Super Game Boy? Anyways, one of those. It's a good game. I got to the point where I was playing this game so much that, see, you can kind of go around to different areas. You know what? I'm going to go to the Mayas. It got to the point where I was playing this game so much, I was almost hallucinating. Like, I was sitting there watching a movie at a movie theater, and I had been stuck on this stage for a very long time. And while I'm watching this movie, I start seeing what to me, anyways, what I presume as like Tetris pieces kind of coming down the screen as I'm watching the movie. It was probably my imagination, but I'm seeing it and watching it, and all of a sudden I'm sitting there, and I turn to my wife, my girlfriend at the time, and I say, I know how to beat that stage. So first thing we did when we got done with watching the movie, went back to my place and played some Tetris, and of course I beat the stage. But anyways, this is what you got. You got this explorer guy, and you want him to drop down below. So it's not quite played the same way that you would play a normal Tetris game. It still follows the Tetris rules, but the idea is to get him to drop down and to find these different treasures that are hidden around the world. So again, in a stage like this, what I do is I'm gonna block him in there. Now he can actually get out of there, but this gives me the ability so I can just start dropping pieces real fast like that. So let me do it. Oh, I did not want to break that one. That's all right though. See, now that blue piece underneath him is going to drop so he can drop down to the goal. Yeah. There was an arcade version of this as well, but the arcade one was not nearly as in-depth as this one. Oh, he's going to climb. But he's also going to get pushed and go back the other direction. Yeah, kind of like that. Where the balloon has to escape and get to the top of the screen, exactly. No. See, now I got him stuck in there. That's stupid. We got to get him out. Walk over. Alright, now he'll get forced the other direction. I actually enjoy this one more than Joy Joy Kid. I wasn't a huge fan of Joy Joy. but I don't know. You know, of course, that was one of those arcade games, and back in the day, I couldn't afford a Neo Geo, um, so it was obviously completely different. See, now this time around, I actually want to force him. So it's just a matter of, you know, taking a look at the stage and thinking, okay, what is the quickest way that I can get him out of here before that spike comes down on top of you? Now this one, you actually have to play through a bit. I think that was a bad choice right there, though. Oh, dang it. I didn't want that to get dropped there either. But now it allows me to do rapid fire on that.
Double. Double.
Alright, so now I just need to find the right piece.
Double.
Oh, crud. I missed a spot. Ah.
Single. Single. Single.
I think I am going to get crushed on this one.
Single. Single. Double.
No, don't want to use that.
Single. Double.
Oh, that was a bad choice. Oh, so yeah, that is the idea, anyways, for this. Yeah, and especially if you're a Tetris fan, it's definitely one that you can kind of get stuck playing for a while. But it's fun being able to see the new puzzles and the different things that you need to get through. So, anyways, that's Tetris Plus. I definitely I recommend it. It's I don't even know how expensive or how cheap that game is these days. They did have it on the PlayStation. I've never played the PlayStation version of it, um, but you know, obviously the PlayStation or the Saturn version would probably be the better ones to go with. What advice to give people that are looking into playing expensive games that you can't afford? If you are not a collector, or as some people call them, even a collectard, people who just want to buy games just to have them on the shelf. Obviously, in this case, it's not quite to that extent. But when it comes to, oh crud, I just knocked my Raspberry Pi on the ground. Um, if it's a CD based game and you've got, you know, something like this, like the Polymega, I am not above, you know, getting an ISO on it. Especially, again, these are not games that the game companies are making money off of, so I don't have any qualms with people doing it that way. If I could show you, I would show you some of my games. I have a pretty high-end printer that can print directly on discs, and I do actually make some of my own um, uh, uh, reproduction copies. So, okay, that's a nice way of saying bootleg. So many of these people that are making reproduction these days, people don't really or not everyone, but a lot of people don't have any issues with making reproductions, especially for these games that are just insanely expensive. So if you look at it from that standpoint, yeah, I have no problem with reproductions. Marox, yeah, I was a horrible collectard for a long time for many systems. Neo Geo was one of them, and I've kind of again I've made um, I've made my peace with it. I've made my peace with getting rid of it. I'm thinking of doing the same thing with a lot of my Neo Geo Pocket stuff. I have almost a full US collection, and I'm thinking, why? I don't even play the majority of these games. Honestly, there's like two or three games on the Neo Geo Pocket that I even play. We've got Card Fighters 2. We've got Match of the Millennium, and oh, Biomotor Unitron is one that I like to pick up every now and then and play. But that's really it. I mean, there's not a whole lot more. As far as cartridge-based games like that, I'm not above playing these games on ROMs. I have no problem, doing that. If it's a game that I really want to play, but I'm not willing to fork over the hundreds or even thousands of dollars for it, that's stupid. Why put yourself into debt? Now, if you're just stinking rich, yeah, man, go for it. Buy those games, and line somebody else's pocket on eBay or wherever you might come across them. I have no problem with that. Matthew Roach here, talking about the Polymega online store. Um, that is awesome. That I mean, if they can get a hold of companies that are willing to release their games, and essentially they're just ROMs, being able to buy those back, like when the Wii came out and they were doing that store that they had. I was buying ROMs left and right. I loved doing it. I supported it. I supported it a lot. And I have no problem doing that because I don't want to pay the kind of money that people are asking for some of these things. Now, when it comes to, again, my Turbo Graphics, that's one of them that I'm going to have a hard time probably parting with. I don't play the majority of them. Of course, I have them all ripped to my Polymega, and I really don't need to hold on to them because I now have them digitally backed up. But I don't want to part with them because it's just kind of part of my youth, and that's the same thing with collecting anything. But if you're a gamer, all you want to do is play. Hey, man, get yourself a Raspberry Pi 4 and load it down. If you are a collector and you want to preserve those games, you don't want to play the actual games, you want to leave them sitting on the shelf so they look like a nice little trophy sitting there. I understand that too because I've been there. I'm there right now still. But guys, do what you think is right when it comes to your gaming collection. Obviously, I'm not telling you to go out and steal from another company. By downloading those ROMs, you're not stealing from another company. But if you're going to go and download a ROM and not pay Nintendo when they release stuff like that, you know, I do have issue with that. Yeah, I have the ROM of like Mario 64, but how many times have I purchased Mario 64? And most recently, I purchased it, of course, on the what's that called, the Switch. Hey, it is what it is. You're not ever going to be able to stop all these people that are wanting to play some of these games, especially if that Mario 64 ends up starting to skyrocket in price because these idiots that bought that game for what was it, like $2 million or something like that for a box copy. Come on, guys, seriously. Now I know that was just a publicity stunt to try to get them some extra cash flow going, but or advertisement as they kind of put it. Um, but if you've got a game that you want to play, I mean, hey, it's not going to hurt to download that game and to try it out. If you like it and you really want to own it, maybe you'll be urged to go ahead and purchase it. One of those games that I wanted to do that with because of playing ROMs was Ganryu on the Neo Geo. Man, I love that game. Such a great game. But that one was out of my reach because at the time I didn't own an MVS. So later on, I had purchased an MVS. I had gotten it. I wanted to also play that game on the Neo Geo AES. I never actually purchased it for the AES, but fairly recently it was re-released by one of those companies that like reprints games legally. And I thought it would have been awesome to be able to pick that up, but of course I don't have the Neo Geo anymore, so that kind of a moot point right now. But let me see, Marox. That's what I wish would be more of a standard. Stuff like the virtual store. Morally, I don't like the feeling of downloading ROMs, etc. Yeah, and if I mean, morally, if it's hitting you, you should listen to that. Don't go out there and download the stuff, because if you don't feel it's right, you shouldn't be doing something that doesn't feel right. I'm not saying that you should do something bad just because it feels good either. On the flip side of that coin, obviously that's not the case. Um, but it's kind of like back in the day, when we had our VCRs, we used to record movies off of TV. Supposedly, you weren't supposed to do that either. And now today we have this huge issue with piracy, and people, have a problem with that. Yeah, I mean, we should have a problem with that, because the companies that are like these new movies or whatever that people are playing, they're bootlegging it, they're downloading them, and showing it off rather than giving the money to the company. I do have a problem with that. If it's a game that's been out for long, long ago, and you can go out, you can go on eBay and you can purchase that game, say for $100, who's getting that money? Is Nintendo getting that money? Is Sega getting that money? They don't get a dime of that money. Now, if they re-release that game, yeah, I'm gonna probably purchase it. Again, going back to the Wii, that makes for a real good chance for you to be able to pick up some of those games that you weren't able to play before, or maybe you even owned, like me with the Wii. I even bought games that I still own just because I loved the idea of that virtual console. It was awesome, and same thing with the Switch with all the Neo Geo games. That it amazes me. But as a lover of this art form, I want to see as many people be able to experience the games, and that won't happen if these games are hundreds of dollars. Good point, Marantz. Exactly. And most of these people in being able to preserve these games as well, turning these games that have never seen the light of day into ROMs so that other people can see them and that sort of thing. I think that's a great idea, and I think this preservation thing that we're really starting to hit hard nowadays. It's really been kind of hitting hard for, I don't know, maybe about a decade or so. With like the art, this is not a decade ago, but like the arcade museum down in Texas, not arcade museum, but the video game museum down in Texas. Things like that I think are amazing, especially for us nerds who really kind of get excited about this kind of thing. Hey, I love going to regular museums as well. I mean, I've been to museums in DC, in Chicago, just all sorts of different places. I love being able to see history, and video games to me is a huge part of my life. It's a huge part of history to me. So I want to see the preservation of this kind of thing. So Playmaji, man, if you guys can hit this thing hard, you can get some of those companies on board to get a couple of dollar royalty off of every ROM that you sell of their specific game, whatever the case may be. It would be wonderful to see that. Not just people that are making new games. I want to see some new games because again, people like Saru. I want to see his game on the console because I support him. I support the things that he does. I do not support the legitimate, not legitimate, but piracy of actual games that should, the owners of these games should be getting money for still because they're still being sold. That is not right. Morally, I cannot accept that. And there's no way that I could just go out and steal those games. And again, with Sorrow's point, I bought that game from him 3 times over on different consoles, and I'm going to continue to buy his stuff because I want him to succeed. I want to see more of his stuff come out. Um, and that goes for many other companies as well. Obviously, Sorrow is not a company per se, but his little development group that he has. So Matthew, it says, let me see, or buy official repros. Yeah, yeah, the official reproductions, and there's a lot of them that are coming out these days. I mean, you have things going back to like Game Boy Advance, Super Nintendo, Sega Genesis. Again, I already brought up the Neo Geo. There's so many of these companies that are doing these reproductions, officially licensed reproductions. Support that kind of thing. Instead of buying the Neo Geo game for $1,000, go buy it for a couple $100 instead. Yeah, you can download the ROM, but I mean, if you can support these companies and you can afford to do so, continue to do that. If LRG did an official repro Snatcher for the Sega CD, my goodness, Snatcher, that's a big one. That's one of those games that's super expensive. I would actually like to see um, maybe even a little more, not just so much a repro, but I would like to see that one on the Switch with more of the Sega CD style graphics, as well as like the one that was released for the PlayStation, but in English. I'd love to play the PlayStation one, but I can't read a lick of Japanese. Well, for the most part, I can't read a lick of Japanese. Um, and I would love to be able to play a game like that in English. And then Marok says officially licensed repro are a great thing. Love when they make those, assuming that they don't look identical to the originals. And they've been doing that a lot lately with these official re-releases, making sure that they change certain things. And the boards, of course, are also going to look completely different. So even someone who might get one that looks official. To go and try change out the label, change out the box, that kind of thing. Be like, oh, hey guys, I got the original thing here. Let me sell it to you for real expensive. Point in case here. What was that? Castlevania X Rondo of Blood when it was released for the PC Engine. That game, obviously started going up in price. And what is the name of that? PCE Works, PCE Works or PC Engine Works. They released a version that looks almost identical to the original. And instead of trying to even make it look different, they try to make it look as close as possible. There are subtle tells that you can see and know that it's not an original. So that way, if you are a collector, you'll be able to tell. Wait a minute, this game company, down the street that sells old video games. They have this game. I've been wanting this game, but look here. This is not an original. This is a reproduction. This actually, I wouldn't even go as far as to say that one's a reproduction. I would say that that one's a legitimate way of what we would call a bootleg, because it was done without permission, and Konami was not receiving any royalties from it. So that's one of those things. So let's see here. LRG already doing stuff with Konami, so it's possible for them to do a Snatch. That would be awesome. And Marox, speaking of Saru, ever consider doing a FX Unit Yuki? I have actually done several FX Unit Yuki streams in the past. I've done a little bit on the Polymega, not a whole lot, and I don't think I went through the entire game. So yeah, that would be something I definitely would be interested in doing. Especially now that I've got the ability to have turbo. That's one of those games that I love having turbo buttons for. And I tried playing it back when I first got the Polymega before I had gotten any of the additional controllers or anything. And it was bad because I did not have the proper D-pad and all sorts of problems. But now that I have this Super Nintendo controller, or I could even plug in my PC Engine, or I'm sorry, my Turbo Graphics USB controller that came with the mini system. I haven't even tried it yet, but from what I understand, it does work now. I'm gonna have to give that a shot, plug that in there, and see how that works. Let me see here. LRG is going to be doing an official repro of Rondo of Blood. I have heard about that, yes, and I am very interested. I own an original copy already, but I would love to get my hands on that. Just again because of the support. I love Rondo. Well, I love Konami as well. I mean, obviously, if it wasn't for Konami, the TurboGrafx Mini never would have even happened. The Metal Storm Repro, oh yeah, I do remember that one. From a few years ago, was fantastic. Speaking of official repros, first time I got it released in Europe as well. Yeah, I do remember hearing that. Actually, I think you might have been the person that told me about that originally, Marox. And then Ratchet Gaming, LRG doing official releases of Rondo Blood with English for the Turbo Graphics. Yeah, exactly. Let me see, Marox. Don't forget to do the secret stage if you decide to play some more Yuki. My goodness. Yeah, what I'm gonna have to do is I'm probably on some of my off days. I'm gonna probably have to get in there and put some time into that game again and get good at it, so that way it doesn't look like I don't know what I'm doing anymore. That special stage is one of those things that I should have wrote down. Well, I made a video on it anyway, so I'll be able to get that again. But I should have wrote down the combination, kept it inside the book, like folded up in a piece of paper or something like that, so I remember which candles to hit specifically to access that hidden stage. Um, no, and the stage definitely is not easy. It got to the point where I could get through it without a problem, but that's after the stage plenty to be able to do that. And that's obviously not something that I've done now for a couple of years. I think it's been about that long. Anyways, um, oh, Marox, it's midnight there. Yeah, got to go to bed. Well, hey, you know what? I'm actually ending the stream here, anyways. We just kind of started going on a rant there, but it was nice. It was being able to kind of talk about some of those things that I think are important, especially to collectors, but not only collectors but also to gamers. And speaking of gamers, you guys, until that next time, keep on gaming, and I mean that. Being able to play some of these games, and that date's coming soon. September, what was it? September 12th, September 13th, when those Polymega is going to start getting out the door. It's an exciting time. I'm excited for all of you who are going to be able to start getting that sometime soon and be able to play. But I hope to still see you guys around here, even when that does happen. And again, speaking of that, if you haven't already subscribed, please do. And don't, if you don't mind hitting that like button as well, just to give me a little bit of exposure here. I don't know where my stream is going to go back to after people start getting their polymegas. Probably going back to making some of the more difficult videos, the ones that take a lot more time to create, and also don't get as many views. But I enjoy being able to just kind of to sit here and to talk with you guys. So thanks a lot. Thank you, Matthew. And you guys all take care. Bye bye now.